So this is the new Loq 15 from Lenovo. It's their value-focused offering for gamers who are looking for an affordable gaming laptop that does not compromise on performance. For example, the model I have here comes with the latest 14th generation Core i7 14700HX CPU with RTX 4060 graphics, and all of that for 1,20,000 rupees. And on paper, that sounds like a stellar deal. I've been using this laptop for the last 2 weeks for gaming and day-to-day productivity tasks. And in this video, I want to share my experience with you guys. This is going to be my full review, so should be a fun video. Stick around till the end and let's get started. Now, as always, I want to start off this review by talking about the design and build quality. And since this is a gaming laptop, it's chunky. It's 2.3 kilograms in terms of the weight, and it is a thick boy. But that's very normal for a gaming laptop. And the construction overall is plastic or polycarbonate. So the top lid, the interior, the bottom is all plastic, but it does not feel cheap. Like, it feels very well put together, and it is a sturdy feeling laptop. It's just that the display assembly has, significant wobble. But since this is not a touchscreen, I don't think you're going to be touching the display a lot. But the display assembly itself feels really solid. Like, there's no flex or creaking, and surprisingly the hinge on this laptop is really good. Like, for this price, the amount of tension is just right. It's not too tight, it's not too loose, and you can keep the display in basically any angle you'd want to. And you can one hand open this laptop since it is so bottom heavy. There is not a lot of flex in the keyboard deck or around the trackpad area, and even the bottom panel does not have like significant amount of flex. So overall, in my opinion, the build quality is actually really good, and I like the color and finish on this laptop as well. Like, the branding is really minimal and it just makes the laptop look really premium. Like, it looks way more premium than its price. And it's carrying over, some of the DNA from the Legion series of laptops, which are super popular among gamers. Taking a look at the exhaust and vents, the Loq 15 does not have any exhaust on the side, which makes sense. Like, for a gamer, let's say you're playing games and you have your mouse right here, sometimes you get that hot air which can get uncomfortable after a while. So this design choice makes a lot of sense. All the exhausts are on the back, and there is air intake on the bottom. So you have the sports car-like exhaust on the back. And the thermals on this laptop are also, surprisingly really good. We'll talk about that in a bit. But another thing that I love about the Loq 15 is the amount of I/O that's present here. So starting off on the right side, you have a USB 3.2 Gen 2 port. This is Type-C, and it supports 140 watt power delivery as well as DisplayPort 1.4. So you can get display output as well as charge this laptop. And let's say you have a smaller power brick and you're not gaming, you don't require full power, you can power this laptop with something like a 140 watt power brick as well. Now, you do get a 230 watt power brick inside the box, which is going to give you full performance. Next up, you have a e-shutter, which is basically to turn off and on your camera. This can help you protect yourself against, online attacks and stuff. Really useful. Cyber attacks are real. You also have a combo headphone and microphone jack. There is a full-size USB-A port. This is 3.2 Gen 1. You have two more USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports on the back. You have a full-size HDMI. This is 2.1. So you're going to get 4K 120 Hz output. There is a full-size Ethernet jack. So this is something a lot of companies are missing out on recently. So I'm really glad to see a full-size Ethernet jack here. And you have the power in port. Overall, the I/O on the Loq 15 is really impressive. Now, jumping inside the laptop and talking about the keyboard and trackpad, you have a full-size keyboard here with big arrow keys and the numpad. There is a RGB backlit version available of this laptop, but the model I have here only has white backlighting, and you can customize the effects and brightness levels using Lenovo's Vantage software as well as keyboard shortcuts, which I really like. And you have a bunch of keyboard shortcuts above the function row, which are merged, and you can use the FN key and do things like decreasing and increasing the brightness, increase and decrease the volume. All of that is present here, and the keyboard is really nice. Like, for gaming and typing, I didn't have any issues here. There is good amount of travel, the feedback is really nice, the keys are big, and there are some grooves in the keys which make the overall typing experience really comfortable. Talking about the trackpad, it is decent sized and it's good enough. It is a little noisy when you click on it, but overall tracking is very accurate, it's smooth, it supports all the gestures and stuff. And this is a trackpad on a gaming laptop. You're always going to be using a gaming mouse no matter what, but just for navigating and scrolling through web pages, this trackpad is fine. I don't have any complaints. And talking about the webcam, surprisingly, for a gaming laptop, it has a full HD webcam. It is 2 megapixels, but the quality is really good. And the microphones are also having noise cancellation. So here is a webcam test for you guys. This is a webcam test of the Lenovo Loq 15. So this is how the webcam and the internal microphone sound on this laptop. I will have to admit that the lighting in here is actually very good since I'm shooting in my studio. But again, for a gaming laptop, the webcam is very decent. So if you're doing, calls on Discord, or if you're attending Zoom meetings or anything online that has to do with the camera, I think it's good. And you also have a physical, button to close the shutter, so you can turn it off and on. So that's good for online privacy. You guys let me know in the comments down below what do you think about the webcam and microphone quality of the Loq 15. Now, one place where Lenovo can improve the Loq 15 are the speakers. The speakers on the Loq 15 are just average. So there's two 2-watt speakers here, which get loud enough for one person. If you're sitting by yourself in a room watching a video or a movie or playing a game, it should be fine. But for better experience, I would honestly recommend you use headphones. And here is a speaker test for you guys. It's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Now, talking about the display on the Loq 15, you have a 15.6-inch Full HD IPS display here with 144 Hz refresh rate, and this is an anti-glare panel, so it does not have that many reflections. Glossy displays do have better colors, they're more punchy, but for gaming laptops, I understand why Lenovo has gone with the anti-glare panel. This gets decently bright, 300 nits, so for indoor usage, you're not going to have any problems, and it is an 8-bit panel, so there's no HDR here. It's also surprisingly color accurate, 100% sRGB and 80% Adobe RGB, so you do have the option to edit videos and photos on this one, but I wouldn't recommend this for serious color sensitive work. If you are into that, I'd suggest go with their Yoga series of laptops, which have really gorgeous displays on them. This is geared towards gamer and to do more fun stuff like watching videos and playing games, and for that this display is good. But when you're playing really fast-paced games like FPS games, you can notice some amount of ghosting, and that is to be expected at this price. But overall, the display is good on the Loq 15. Alright, so we have finally arrived at the part that you all have been waiting for. Let's talk performance. The Loq 15 comes with the latest Raptor Lake 14th generation Intel Core i7 14700HX CPU that has 8 performance cores, 12 efficiency cores, base clock of 2.1 GHz and a boost of 5.5. That's coupled with 16 GB of DDR5 memory in single channel out of the box, but there is an extra slot. You can go up to 32 GB if you wanted to. So that's nice to have. There is also a terabyte of PCI Gen 4 NVMe storage here. There is an extra slot, so you can add another terabyte of storage if you wanted to. And the slots are two kinds in this laptop. There's the shorter one and there's also the full size. In terms of graphics, you have the RTX 4060 GPU with a 115 watt TGP and 8 GB of VRAM. There is also a 60 watt-hour battery, which we'll get to in a bit. Now, numbers aside, talking about real-world performance, the Loq 15 flies through everyday general productivity. So if you're browsing the web, doing email, office work, student stuff, all of that is no problem for this laptop. But you're not buying this laptop for doing everyday general productivity. You're buying it for the gaming performance, but it is more capable than just gaming. You can do video editing. You can also delve into a little bit of Blender or Autodesk products if you're into the 3D workloads. I tried editing videos and editing photos in Photoshop, and all of that was really smooth. So you can edit in 1080p as well as 4K without any issues. You can have multiple layers and effects and color adjustments. It can handle it without any issues. But talking about gaming performance, this laptop is a beast when it comes to performance, and I had no issues running any of the games on the market. I started off my testing with some synthetic benchmarks, so Cinebench R24 as well as Geekbench 6, and the scores are on the screen right now. And they're really good. For this price, I wasn't expecting this kind of performance. And talking about gaming performance, the experience of gaming was actually a lot of fun. I did not have any lags or issues. I just had to put the laptop on performance mode and everything ran smooth. And we'll talk about the Vantage software in a bit. But I started off with popular esports titles like Valorant and CS2. At 1080p max settings in Valorant, I was getting 440 FPS average, which is really good. So if you're into serious competitive esports gaming, you can get a 360 Hz monitor and play Valorant without any issues. And in CS2, I got around 210 FPS average at 1080p, very high preset. But just know that CS2 isn't the most optimized game right now. There's still updates and stuff happening, so 210 FPS, I'm not complaining. Even on a desktop RTX 3070 Ti, I get like 250 FPS in CS2, so this is really good. And then I moved on to more demanding AAA titles, and this laptop was able to play them without any issues. So things like RDR2, Spider-Man Miles Morales, God of War, Forza Horizon 5, all of that is fine. Like Far Cry 6 also ran really smoothly, and you can also delve into a little bit of ray tracing on this laptop, which I wasn't expecting, but it can. And if you ever find a game that's not giving you good FPS, you can just turn on DLSS and you will get playable frame rate. So that's an advantage, with the NVIDIA graphics card, that you have that AI frame generation. And overall, the ray tracing performance was decent, but just raw gaming performance in 1080p was really impressive. And this laptop can also do 1440p gaming, but since the display I had was 1080p, I kept my testing limited to 1080p. But you can get into entry-level 1440p gaming with this laptop as well. So that's that. So in terms of gaming performance, no complaints at all. I was really satisfied. Now, one place where you might not be satisfied is the battery life. It has a 60 watt-hour battery with fast charge technology. So there is an option in the Lenovo Vantage software which you can turn on. It's called Rapid Charge. The 60 watt-hour battery is going to last you 2.5 hours at max. But there are certain battery optimizations that you can put to increase that battery life. But without any optimizations, 2 to 2.5 hours is what you're gonna get, and it's fine. I'm not complaining. Like, gaming laptops usually don't have the best battery life anyway, but they can make the battery bigger in the future if they want to. Now, another area where the Loq 15 excels at is thermal performance. This laptop was really stable throughout my testing. It did not overheat or thermal throttle. I did not lose any performance due to heat, and that's because of the improved cooling design on the inside. They've added thermal pads to the RAM and also to the bottom cover, and that's really helping. Like, this laptop was super stable in my testing, and in terms of numbers, on idle it hovers around 43 to 45 degrees Celsius. Under gaming load, it stays around that 85 to 87 degrees Celsius mark, and max in my stress testing when I ran Prime 95, this laptop went up to 93 degrees, but that's pretty much it. I did not see temperatures above that, and that's really stable. Like, at this price, Lenovo has nailed the thermal performance. Now, in terms of acoustics, this laptop gets loud. Like, when the fan is running at full speed and you're really pushing the laptop, remember when I said sports car exhaust? It does sound like a sports car. But that is to be expected with a gaming laptop, and if you're wearing headphones, that shouldn't be an issue. You won't be bothered by it. And there you have it. That's the Lenovo Loq 15 2024 with the Core i7-14700HX CPU and RTX 4060 graphics. To quickly summarize, the pros of this laptop are its display, the design and build quality, the really solid performance, stable thermals. Things that can be improved are the battery life and the speakers. But overall, for a price of 1,20,000 rupees, I think the Loq 15 offers really good value, and most of the competition does not give you this kind of performance. So if you are looking for a gaming laptop around that price, I highly recommend you check out the Loq 15. I'll drop links in the description down below so you guys can check it out and learn more, and do buy from my links to help the channel out and in turn help me make more videos like this. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions or queries, or just share your thoughts about this laptop. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.